Hey guys, I am totally rocking the natural hair and face today, so be nice in the comments. The majority of you guys are, and I really do appreciate that. But I just wanted to jump on here and say thank you so much for joining me for another week of What's for Dinner. This week I'm collabing with Taylor Elmore. She is one of my absolute favorites. I have been following Taylor for a while now, and I'm pretty sure that I've watched almost every single one of her videos. I love all of the recipes and grocery hauls that she shares. I love her personality, video style, literally everything. I think that she deserves so many more subscribers. So if you haven't done so yet, I highly recommend that you go and check out her channel. There will be a link to it down in my description box, as well as a link to her What's for Dinner video. So go and show her some love. Now let's go ahead and jump on into my dinners. For Meatless Monday, I decided to whip up some fried rice because I had some leftover rice sitting in my fridge. So I started by heating up my wok and then adding in a little bit of butter to melt. Then I tossed in my frozen peas and carrots and just seasoned those up with a little bit of onion powder, or you could of course toss in a real onion. I definitely went overboard with the peas because I had an open package in my freezer and I just wanted to use those up. But after that, I tossed in some minced garlic, sauteed that around for about a minute, and then I scooted all of my vegetables to one side. Then I added in a little bit more butter, and then I cracked in 3 eggs. You could scramble these up in a little bowl and then add them to your skillet, but I don't like dirtying up extra dishes if I don't have to. So I'm just going to incorporate those eggs back into the vegetables and then toss in my rice. I do recommend that you use cold rice for this recipe. I think the texture turns out way better. I used hot and fresh rice once before and I just didn't care for it. But now I'm going to season this rice up with some oyster sauce, sesame oil, and some soy sauce, and that is it. I'm just going to let that heat through for a few minutes and it is done. This is one of those meals that is perfect for a busy weeknight because it is so quick to toss together, and it's one of those meals that I don't miss the meat in because I think it's completely satisfying the way that it is. But if you had any leftover meat in the fridge, chicken, beef, ham, pork, whatever, or any vegetables that you need to use up, just toss it on in there and I think it would be great. To go along with it, I air fried some egg rolls. I found these in the freezer section at Walmart. It was my first time buying them, and I'm glad that I did because they were delicious and I will definitely be repurchasing. On Tuesday, I made some Buffalo Ranch chicken burgers. So I'm starting off with a pound of ground chicken and adding that to my mixing bowl, followed by a 1/4 cup of hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of ranch seasoning mix, 2/3 of a cup of plain panko breadcrumbs, 1 tablespoon of ranch dressing, and then 1 egg. So I'm just going to get in there with my glove and combine that really well. This mixture was a little on the wet side, so I did end up adding in some extra panko breadcrumbs, and then I just formed that into 4 patties, popped it on a plate, and covered it with some cling wrap, and then I stuck it in my freezer for a bit to firm up. Meanwhile, I got started on my ranch coleslaw. So to my bowl, I have 2 cups of coleslaw mix, a 1/4 cup of ranch dressing, and then a tablespoon of ranch seasoning. So I just stirred that together really well, covered it up, and popped it in my fridge. I was really wanting to grill these out on the grill, but since all it wants to do is rain in Kentucky anymore, I just stuck it in my cast iron skillet and cooked it for about 6 to 7 minutes per side. Once that was fully cooked through, I topped it with a slice of cheese and let that melt. I think these would be amazing with pepper jack cheese slices. I didn't have any, so I just used some sharp cheddar, but I served these with a side of steamed asparagus, and I just toasted up some brioche buns, topped the burgers with that delicious ranch coleslaw, which totally made these burgers. This was my first time ever cooking or eating ground chicken, so I was kind of nervous about it, but I'm glad I did because these were so good. Wednesday, I caught a glimpse of sunshine, so I decided to grill out some cheese-stuffed, bacon-wrapped hot dogs. We are a beef hot dog loving family. They are our favorite. We really like the Ballpark and Nathan brands, but we recently tried the Great Value, and we think that it is just as good. So all I'm doing here is I'm taking my knife, and I'm cutting slits down the middle of the hot dog. Obviously, I'm not going to cut it all the way through the bottom because I don't want them falling apart. And then I'm just taking 1 mozzarella cheese stick and just dividing that into 4 portions. You can feel free to use any type of cheese that you want, of course, and I'm just stuffing that inside the hot dog. They slid in pretty easily, and then I'm just going to take a strip of bacon and wrap that around. So for 3 of those hot dogs, I just used 1 strip of bacon, and then for that 4th one, I did use 2 pieces. So I suggest that you use 2 pieces of bacon per hot dog because the ones that I just used 1 strip on, that cheese just melted right through it. So learn from my mistakes, and all I'm doing to secure that bacon is just sliding in some toothpicks, and since they are wooden, you do want to soak those in water first. Go along with those, I am making a bacon ranch potato salad. I love this recipe. I've made it a few times now. So to my bowl, I have a cup of plain Greek yogurt, or you can use sour cream, half a cup of mayonnaise, and a packet of ranch seasoning mix. And then I'm adding in 3 pounds of cooled and cooked cubed red potatoes. I leave the skins on, and then I'm just adding in some sharp cheddar cheese, and I'm going to add in some freeze-dried chives, or you could of course use some fresh green onions or fresh chives. I'm going to combine that really well, and then I'm going to top it with a little bit bit more cheese, as well as some cooked and crumbled bacon, and then some more of those dried chives. And I'm just going to let that chill in my fridge for a few hours. So I just topped my hot dog with mustard, and it did take a while to crisp up that bacon on the grill. So the hot dogs did get a bit burnt, but luckily I do like burnt hot dogs. But if you are not one of those people, I suggest trying it maybe in the air fryer or even the oven. But they were super yummy, and I just served it with some corn and of course that potato salad. This may not be the prettiest meal ever, but we loved it. On Thursday, I made taco soup. This recipe was actually sent to me by Courtney over on Instagram. The only changes I made to her recipe was I added a can of beef broth and I made it in my Instant Pot. But you could just as easily make this on your stovetop or even the crock pot. So for the ingredients, you need 1 pound of ground beef, a package of ranch seasoning and a package of taco seasoning, some kidney beans and black beans, some petite diced tomatoes, the beef broth, some rotel, I use the Great Value version, and some corn. This was the easiest meal to throw together. Although I do love cooking, there are a lot of days that I just don't want to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen. This was definitely one of those days. I had spent the whole day cleaning and I just wanted something fast. I'm the type of girl that likes soup year round. I don't care if it's blazing hot outside. This was perfect. So I just topped my bowl with some shredded cheese, plain Greek yogurt, dried cilantro, and some crushed tortilla chips. So I have made soups like this in the past, but I've always used chicken. So I really like the addition of the ground beef. We all loved it, so I will definitely be making it again. It was super cheap to make, and it made a ton, so I can't say enough good things, but thank you again, Courtney, for sending this recipe to me. Friday, I had actually planned to cook, but Josh took the day off work, so we just went out to eat at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I'll be moving that meal I had planned to next week. On Saturday, we did breakfast for dinner, which is always a favorite. So here I am starting to make some French toast. In this large mixing bowl, I have 2 eggs, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I didn't have quite enough cream, so I did have to mix in some 2% milk. And then I added in a good splash of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and then I added in some cinnamon. So here I'm just taking some butter and buttering up my griddle. And then I'm going to take some Texas toast and dip both sides into that mixture. And I'm just going to cook these for about 2 minutes on each side. So I just topped that with a little bit of butter, powdered sugar, syrup, and strawberries. And then I also made some hash browns and sausage on the side. So I have made some crunchy French toast sticks in the past, but I have never made a classic French toast recipe like this. And it was honestly my favorite meal of the week. So good. Now for a little bonus clip, I did end up making a Boston cream poke cake earlier in the week, and I figured that I could share it with you guys. I don't make desserts too often, so I was pretty excited about this one. I have had that box of yellow cake mix sitting in my pantry for a while now. I got it a while back for super cheap, like less than 50 cents, so I just wanted to use it. So I just baked the cake according to the box directions, and while it was still warm, I poked holes all in it. And then in this mixing bowl, I have 2 packages of instant French vanilla pudding, as well as 4 cups of milk. I just whisked that together really well and poured that all over the cake, paying special attention to try to get it down into all those little holes. I should have let it set up for just a couple of minutes so that all that pudding didn't just kind of go to the sides, but as you see, I'm just taking my spoon and kind of making it work out. It all worked out in the end, so it's all good. But I let that cool down for about 2 hours in the fridge, and then I took a tub of chocolate frosting. I peeled off that foil lining, of course, and then I popped it in my microwave for about 20 seconds and gave it a good stir. This is going to make it really pourable and easy to spread, and that was it. I just covered it up and I let it sit in the fridge overnight, and we had a delicious dessert the next day. So that is going to wrap up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and found some inspiration. Don't forget to go and check out Taylor's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.